Understanding superheat and subcooling is key to charging your HVAC system right, especially when you're dealing with a thermostatic expansion valve, or TXV. So, here's what you gotta know. Superheat is about how much the refrigerant vapor heats up after it's fully evaporated in the evaporator coil. When you're charging a system without a TXV, measuring superheat helps you figure out if there's enough refrigerant. But with a TXV, things get tricky, because the valve controls superheat to keep it steady no matter how much refrigerant is in there. That means superheat stops being a good indicator for charging. Instead, you want to look at subcooling, which measures how much the liquid refrigerant cools down after it's condensed, but before it hits the expansion valve. Subcooling gives you a better idea of how much refrigerant is actually in the system when a TXV is involved. So, when charging systems with a TXV, don't rely on superheat. You gotta use subcooling as your go-to metric. Remember to measure subcooling at the outlet of the condenser and compare it to the manufacturer's specs to avoid overcharging or undercharging. This way, you keep your system running smooth without risking damage or inefficiency. One of the biggest mistakes people make is using superheat to charge systems with TXV valves. It just doesn't work right and messes up the whole process. Another common issue is not measuring subcooling correctly. You need to take those readings at the right spot and under proper operating conditions for accurate numbers. Lastly, ignoring manufacturer guidelines for subcooling targets leads to problems like poor cooling performance or even compressor damage. Fix these by always switching to subcooling when working with TXV setups, double-checking where and how you take your measurements, and following the specs like your system depends on it, because it does. BigHomeProjects.com makes it way easier for homeowners to find trusted local contractors who really know their stuff when it comes to HVAC and other home projects. Contractors also get a legit platform to connect with more clients and grow their business without all the usual hassle.